Let me speak straight to you, the Joint Force, our warriors on the front lines. History doesn't care if we're tired, if we're scared, or if the fight feels big. It demands warriors who rise anyway. If you threaten Americans anywhere on Earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you.
At 0329 local, JSOC authorized a live capture raid against an IRGC Supreme Commander inside a fortified coastal compound outside Jask, Iran. Signal intercepts confirmed a narrow movement window at 0410, when the target would leave an underground communications vault and shift to a temporary residence wing. Delta Force had the inner breach, Rangers had perimeter domination, Green Berets had outer isolation, and the 161st SOAR had the hardest task of all: get them in, get them out, and leave Iran guessing. The objective was simple, classified, and absolute. Capture the commander alive, seize his archive, and vanish before dawn. The room smelled of CLP, cold steel, sweat, and jet fuel drifting under the hangar doors with the sea wind. M4 bolts locked back, chambers checked, optics wiped, then sent forward with flat metallic snaps. Suppressors threaded on by hand, tightened, checked again by feel. PVS-14 tubes glowed dull green as operators tested gain in seated batteries. MICH straps dragged tight under the jaw. Plate carriers cinched until ceramic plates sat high and hard against the chest. Magazines loaded in identical orientation, 30 rounds, tap, seat, repeat, while MBITR radios hissed encrypted bursts through earpieces beneath helmet rails. Rucksacks packed lean, water, batteries, demo cord, bolt cutters, thermal blankets, breaching charges laid out like surgical tools, labeled in grease pencil, detonators separated, tape tabs folded for gloved hands, flex cuffs into cargo pockets, medical kits opened one final time, tourniquets, chest seals, gauze, morphine syrettes, then snapped shut. Velcro rasped, gloves tightened, steel clicked into steel, nobody spoke. By then the room no longer felt human. It felt loaded. One commander stood over one digital map, blue light washing across his face and body armor as the compound rotated in thermal overlays. He traced the route with one gloved finger. MH-47 Chinooks low over water, MH-60 Blackhawks offset for support, MV-22 Ospreys holding south as contingency extraction if the coast ignited. Rangers would blind the perimeter, Green Berets would cut the highway and canal road, Delta Force would punch into the residence wing while electronic warfare bought exactly 11 minutes of radar blindness. He killed the display, looked at the room once, and gave them the line they would carry into Iran. Fast in, clean out. The launch began as a vibration before it became sound. MH-47 Chinooks shuddered on their gear, rotors chopping darkness into heavy slabs of air. MH-60 Blackhawks crouched under red deck lights like predators pulling against chains. MV-22 Ospreys rolled into hover, turbines screaming, nacelles glowing in heat shimmer. Rotor wash flattened loose straps and slapped skin raw. The air smelled of hot hydraulic fluid, turbine exhaust, and raw aviation fuel. Crew chiefs shoved operators into red-lit cabins where every buckle and optic flashed black and wet. Then the ship fell away. The sea opened cold and depthless below. Freezing air knifed through the ramp. The formation ran blacked out, low over water, horizon erased, instruments glowing like embers in a coffin. The border crossing was invisible, except to machines trying to stop it. Iranian radar swept the coast, while U.S. electronic warfare flooded scopes with false returns and ghost tracks. The 161st SOAR flew nap of Earth so low, the terrain seemed to reach into the aircraft, over dry riverbeds, along broken ridgelines, past dark villages where dogs scattered before the sound arrived. Then one warning receiver blinked red in the lead Chinook. The formation drifted toward a ridgeline, too fast and too low. Rock rose in the dark like a wall. The pilot dumped collective, slid right, and missed it by yards. Nobody in back moved. Fear had already been trained out of the room. Rangers hit first. Fast ropes dropped. Boots slammed dirt. Rifles came up. and outer guard posts disappeared behind suppressed shots so soft they sounded like fists into wet cloth. Green berets peeled wide toward access roads, infrared strobes pulsing over their shoulders as they cut escape lanes. Delta Force crossed the breach lane at a dead run. The charge hit the steel service door. Blast punching inward, concrete dust rolling back over helmets and lasers. Blood-red emergency lights snapped on, turning corridors into crimson and shadow, room by room. Corners first, bodies second. Perimeter green, breach, breach, breach. First floor, dead guards, one locked office, stairwell down. Second floor, burnt screens, ripped hard drives. Third floor, bed still warm, tea still steaming. One terrified adjutant wiping a phone with shaking hands. The twist waited behind a false archive wall. Inside, route maps, sat phones, courier ledgers, and a perfect body double in the commander's robes. Same beard, same build, same ring on the right hand. For 6 seconds, the mission bent toward the wrong ending. Then a Delta operator saw the prosthetic seam at the jaw and tunnel draft moving paper across the desk. Wrong room. A hidden panel stood open behind the shelving, narrow escape tunnel sloping east toward a date grove and concealed vehicle bay. At the same moment, Iranian reinforcements surged from the highway, and coastal batteries lit the sky with blind retaliatory launches. The raid stopped being a controlled snatch. It became a pursuit through live battles, dragged into the dirt. Flex cuffs cinched white through the wrists. Hood down, move. Everything after became speed and fire. Rangers collapsed the perimeter in sequence, suppressed until range closed, then loud when it had to be. Green berets blew the canal road and sprinted for the pickup zone under tracer arcs above the trees. H-1Z Cobras walked rockets through a convoy on the eastern rise. Apaches followed with cannon bursts shredding headlights, engines, and men into sparks and dust. The night smelled of burned propellant, churned earth, and hot brass. Operators ran bent under kit weight, dragging the hooded prisoner through irrigation mud while comms snapped across MBITR radios. MH-47s already on the ground, rotors chewing the grove into a storm of grit and leaves. One Black Hawk took rounds through the tail boom, circled, then settled long enough for the last operator to leap and disappear inside. 0 American casualties. 1 live IRGC Supreme Commander in restraints. Sealed cases of drives, code books, encryption modules, and courier ledgers mapping Tehran's entire covert network across the region. For Iran, the meaning was immediate. Its deepest sanctuary had been entered, understood, and opened from the inside. By sunrise, the compound was burning, the tunnel collapsed, the archive gone. Somewhere above the Arabian Sea, the fading rotor noise was still delivering the only message that mattered. The knock on the door was never a warning, only the end. Iran built bunkers. America built the men who walk through them. If this operation made you stop scrolling, drop shadow in the comments. Every comment tells the algorithm this story matters. The next mission is already being planned. And what comes next will be harder to believe than this.